Welcome to the Smite tutorial part 2. In this video, we'll go beyond the basics, covering the item shop, jungling, and teamwork. For your first few games, you used auto item and auto skill, but after a few matches, you can disable these options and have much more control on how to enhance your god in a match. With each level, you earn a skill point. When prompted, hit K to bring up the skill menu and select the skill you wish to level up. At level 5, you can put a point into your strongest skill, called your ultimate, which is always mapped to key number 4. You can also use the F1 through F4 hotkeys to level up the appropriate skill without bringing up the menu. Items are purchased with gold earned during the match. With auto item off, you now need to purchase items for yourself. You will have starting gold to spend at match start, so don't head into battle without items. You'll regret it. To purchase items, you must be located near your spawn point. Then, hit I to view the item shop. All items are passive enhancements of different statistics, such as attack damage or health. Items come in 3 levels, and typically the level 3 item includes an additional passive effect. You can easily view the items recommended for your god, or view via stat category. You carry a maximum of 6 items, and your selection and order of item acquisition is very important. By hitting the tab key, you can see the item build of your allies and enemies. Use this to counter their strengths. Here, I can see that the enemy is building heavy physical damage, and so I counter by selecting more defense against physical. Abilities are a special type of item that are user activated and have a long cooldown. For example, Sprint allows me to run quickly for a few seconds. Meditation heals my mana. You can carry 3 abilities total. Consumables are one-time use items. You can stack multiple consumables of the same type, but must use all of them before purchasing a different type. Here, I purchase multiple health potions. A final way to enhance your god is to jungle. The area between the defined lanes is the jungle, and it's filled with mythological creatures. Jungling is the act of killing those neutral creatures, which earns you additional XP and stat buffs. There are a number of camp areas that give you a stat buff. Blue, a mana regen. Orange, run speed. Red, damage boost. Yellow, protection. White, cooldown reduction. And green, health regen. There are also 2 much stronger camps. The Fury, which gives extra gold to your entire team, and the Fire Giant, which gives a very large stat buff to the entire team. While you're in the jungle, lane resources are being distributed to fewer players, so overall your team can earn more gold and XP compared to having all gods in the lane. Teamwork. Your first opportunity for teamwork is at the god selection screen. When you first started playing, you probably picked a god because it seemed fun. Now you can think about filling different roles on your team. Gods can be characterized a few different ways, but one simple way to think about gameplay roles is mages. Damage of type magical comes mainly from skills and is often burst oriented. Ra is an example of a mage. Assassins, damage of type physical, mostly coming from auto attacks, and often sustained damage with less fluctuation. Sun Wukong is an example of an assassin. Tanks, gods with heavy health and defense that absorb damage, but don't output much damage. They tend to be up front in team fights, initiate fights, and protect the damage dealers. Amir is an example. Jungler, a god who spends the early game killing creeps in the jungle, with a focus on surprising and ganking enemy players. Kali is an example of an assassin who can jungle well. If your team doesn't have critical roles filled or is too stacked with everyone doing the same type of damage, the other team will be able to easily counter you. With 5 people and only 3 lanes, some people will have to share. At the beginning of the game, coordinate with your teammates around who will cover each lane. A typical setup for beginners is 2-1-2. 2 gods cover the left lane, 1 solo player takes the middle, and another 2 gods take the right lane. Another common setup is 1-1-2, with 1 player starting out as a designated jungling character. Smite includes a quick key voice system to help you communicate with your team. Hit V for voice to bring up the top level menu. You can then see a selection of useful voice commands. For example, if you need to recall, let your laning partner know he's alone for a while.
Be right back.
And if you spot the enemy leaving the lane, he might be attempting an ambush, so let your teammates know that. By hitting the spacebar, you free up the mouse and can ping the map as another way to direct your team's attention to key spots. A left click communicates opportunity, attack. A right click means danger, retreat. Finally, you can hit enter and use freeform text chat. Wards are a special type of consumable that help your entire team with map awareness. You purchase wards in the store and can place them around the map. Wards allow you and your team to see nearby enemy movements and enemy wards. They last for 3 minutes or until destroyed. Some god powers also act as wards. For example, Arachne's broodlings are spider eggs that act as wards, showing nearby enemies. Consider how your god skills can work well with other gods. For example, here Odin traps people within Ring of Spears. Zeus then follows up that with Lightning Storm. When the game first begins, you should generally stay in your assigned lane, either solo or with one other teammate. You focus on gaining gold and experience through killing minions, but stay defensive because those minions are strong compared to you. Try to harass the enemy player to prevent them from farming. As a new player, you should start with survivability items so you can stay in the lane and collect maximum gold and XP. If you last hit the minion, you do get a slight gold bonus. Call out MIA if your enemy goes missing. Ganking is killing an opponent when they least expect it. This phase often starts after a player has unlocked 1 or 2 ranks of their ultimate, or after an outer tower has been taken, because it's now more dangerous to push farther into enemy territory. Lane assignments start to break down. Players form small groups of 2 or more to pick off vulnerable enemies. To gank, look for enemies who are overextended, or don't have an escape move, or have low health, or go with a teammate who can slow or stun them. The best way to defend against a gank is to watch that minimap. If you don't see enemies on the minimap, they're probably coming to get you. Stay with your team because great battles will start to develop with many players on each side. These are called team fights, and your goal is to fight as a coordinated unit. Tanks absorb damage and initiate fights. High damage dealers target the enemy priority targets and take them out. A mistake in this phase will cost you a defensive structure and possibly the game. Toward the end of the game, you'll see large team fights to destroy phoenixes. Players may also sneak out to take down that fire giant. You do not want to be farming minions at this point. Stay together. Take out at least 1 phoenix, and then take down the Minotaur. GG.